Hello, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm working on my 2019 Ram 2500 with the 6.4 Hemi. Today I am installing a gooseneck hitch. This is the B&W flip hitch, and then I'm doing a Kurt 7-pin wiring, like Y splitter for the truck bed. What I am doing is I am purchasing, the plan is to purchase a brand new gooseneck roll-off dumpster trailer this weekend, and this just came in. Today's Thursday, and I'm a little hesitant to work on it tomorrow or start on it tomorrow and find out I need something. So it's 8 o'clock at night on Thursday, and I'm going to try to go ahead and like prep it, lower the spare tire, maybe mark it out, maybe drill the hole. I'm only going to work on it for about 30 minutes and kind of make sure that I have everything I need. So I kind of watched a few videos on this. I am going to drop the spare tire, see if I have to remove the heat shield. I'm not going to remove the exhaust hanger for the moment because I'm still driving it tomorrow. But I want to see kind of how much space I have down there and kind of see where we go from there. So what I'm hoping to do is bring you guys along, kind of show you how I'm installing it or what problems I might have ran into and any tips that I kind of figure out as I'm doing this. I do have, and I just got it, a bed rug for the truck bed. And so I am going to drill the 3-inch hole, or 3.5-inch hole, I believe is what I bought, the hole saw. I am going to just drill through it, and then I'm also going to drill for the safety chains as well. I'm just going to drill through it. I can always cut the safety chain spots out later if I need to remove it, but I am just going to go ahead and drill the hole, the 3.5-inch hole, versus just trying to notch out for the ball. So I'm just going to make it fit and not worry about it. So I'm going to go ahead and start by lowering the spare tire. So now that I have the spare tire out of here, I am going to that gooseneck hitch kind of goes right there. I definitely agree that that heat shield is going to be in the way. So I may go ahead and remove it. I think it's these 4 bolts right here. And then should be able to pull that down. They look like 10 millimeters. Alright. Now very sharp. Very sharp. But you do have 6 very sharp bolts that went back here. And alright, so that kind of exposes all of that. And so this is the exhaust isolator that they were saying you should drop so your exhaust falls down a little bit more, so you can slip it in there a little bit easier. Alright, well, I guess I'm going to kind of read the instructions again. Oh, I do have a shock. I did not know that my truck had a shock above the axle. How interesting. Okay, so I will not be able to store the flip ball upside down. And that's partially the reason why I bought this kit. I could have bought the Kurt kit that was a little bit cheaper, and it did not flip. You had to grab the top of the ball to loosen it. But I didn't want to do that either, so I mean, I guess flipping it upside down is not the end of the world, or not being able to. Alright, this may be very difficult to see, but what I have done, and alright, you can kind of see there. So there's a template that I've gone ahead and I've marked. Let's hope. Alright, so this template that they send, the square hole, this hole is for like 3500s that have an extra thickness of plate that would be seen up here. I don't have that, so I'm using the circle hole. So what you do is you line this oval up with the back hole right there. You kind of line it up, and then you stick it on the outside, and you come in and you make that mark. And that is the mark for the center of my 3.5 inch hole. So I could go ahead and drill a 1/4 inch pilot hole through there and then go from up above and drill it. All right, I was able to drill that 1/4 inch hole. I used a like 1/8 inch, and then I had to use a step bit because my 1/4 inch was not up to the task. So now that I have that drilled, let's go see what it looks like up above. So I went ahead and I stuck the drill bit through. That is where, in relationship to the inside of my truck, that is where that hole is. So I picked up a new 3.5 inch with the pieces I need, and then that's my drill bit. I did not bring my shop vac home, so I might have to go borrow the wife's house vac and try to drill this out before I call it a night. Or it's 8:30 now, and I may choose not to drill it tonight. I may choose not to drill it and just use my vacuum instead of getting the wife upset. So anyways, that is where I'm stopping tonight, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Or, well, tomorrow late evening, actually. Hello, it's the next evening. Again, this time it's 4:45, and I just got my truck bed unloaded. Yesterday, we were able to mark the center hole. Today, I'm wanting to jump right into trying to drill this hole so we can get moving forward on trying to get this installed. I did confirm that I am ready to pick up my trailer tomorrow. I'm having to drive to Norman, Oklahoma. So it's about an 1.5 hour drive tomorrow. So I need to get this installed. So I am going to attempt to run the hole saw through the carpet. If it wants to grab it and pull, I don't think this carpet will do that. If it does start trying to grab it, then I'm going to have to drill from underneath and then come back and cut it out, or take my knife and cut it out from up above. That's probably an easier option. So I'm going to go ahead and get this drill set up and hopefully go ahead and drill this. I'm a little hesitant, hoping that it's in the right spot, but I did have this template that is supposed to tell me where it goes. So as far as I can tell, it's where it goes. So I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and trust that that's right and get this drilled. I was able to get that 3.5 inch hole cut out, no problem. It didn't seem to do anything with this carpet, and it appears to be in the right spot. So now we just have to get through this metal. So now that I have the hole drilled and it looks like it's in the right spot, they're wanting me to try to get this isolator off. And I don't know how I'm doing that yet. That does not come off easily. I used 2 tire tools. I really could have probably done it with 1. Oh yeah, because moving that out of the way is going to go really well. What about that one? There's another hanger up there. Whoo! That was a lot. Okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna start looking at the instructions again. All right, so I was just able to get one of these installed. They go up on the top with the flat side down. I was able to do the left side. This one is for the right side. The video I watched said kind of once you pry it up there, there's a little bit more space once you get over this initial hump. And so I kind of just used one of these tire tools and kind of just pried it in and pried it up and was able to kind of push this in there. It's not great angles since I'm not on a lift. Let me try to set up the camera so you guys can see it, but it's kind of hard to see. Whoop. That can't be good. I accidentally just slid it really far to one side. Drop that down there. All right, so I went ahead and got that second plate found and got it centered out. Miss Katie came out, so now is a perfect time to get her to help me lift the main hitch up. Basically, I'm just going to use a ratchet strap, hook onto it. I'm gonna lift it in place and position it where I want it, and then just have her stand up and hold it while I get a couple of the bolts in, just hand tight. This thing does weigh like 30 pounds, so once you get it up, you can stand up and then just support the weight however you want until I get it tight. So the goal is, also, there's some play in it. So the goal is for you, when I push this circle thing up into the hole, if you could tell me how to center it. You don't have to center it while we're holding it, just when I'm about to tighten it all the way down. So I'm going to grab a couple of these bolts and set these down here. Okay. You can probably let go.
Okay.
Oh, wow, that's not a fun spot. Directly into the frame. Start a 5/8 flange head bolt through each hole in the forward and rear flange into the threaded bushing in the center of the hitch. Next, while keeping the fastener block from rotating, install the 5/8 head block into each of the 4 until the fastener blocks until they're snug but not fully tight. All right, I gotta get a couple tools.
There you go.
What are we doing here? All right, so I was able to get the 4 bolts up into that bracket. It was kind of challenging on that side with the exhaust, but this side was pretty straightforward. Once you get one lined up, the other one just kind of goes right in. So Katie is still up above. I'm trying not to take too much of her time, so I am going to have her center it in the hole once I get it sucked up. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to suck these 2 up, snug but not like super tight. And then once I have that done, then she should be able to let go. So now I'm going to hopefully try to do this. It was a 24 millimeter. Let's see where that puts us. How's it looking? Okay, which way do I need to move it? Towards the towards the AC?
Yeah. Right there.
That's pretty good? Okay, I'm gonna try to hold it where it's at. All right, well, I was able to get on these bolts and pulled the exhaust over so I could get those bolts torqued down to 150. So I did the passenger side, and now I'm going to try to torque down the driver's side, not with this adapter, extension. So you torque down the oh yeah. Okay, 150, not that easy. And then you're supposed to, I don't know how I'm gonna possibly get a wrench on there to try to torque these other bolts down. I don't know about that. All right, well, my GoPro's dying, so I'm going to go ahead and finish tightening these up, and then we will set up the camera and get to the next step. I just spent the last 15 minutes cutting a socket, hoping that this will allow me to be able to get on that. I did not want to just leave it to tightening it with a wrench. I did actually want to torque it down since I will be towing quite a bit of weight. So now let's see if we can get this to fit. All right, so I've not tried it yet. The hope is that this does fit, and I also see this flange here. I know it's really hard for you guys to see. Well, I'm on. Oh boy. Yeah, I would have never been able to do that by hand. Okay, so it does not specify how to go about torquing these down. So what I think I'm going to do is probably get them all snug and then try to torque it down. This one's probably one of the easier ones to do. And I'm going to try to get it just as snug as I did the rear passenger. And then I will try to move to the front and get those fully torqued down. All right, so I'm snug. All right, I was able to fit. Yep, ish. The trap bar is kind of in my way. It definitely kind of feels like it's squeezing. Yeah, it's definitely going to squeeze the frame. I wonder if it's designed to squeeze, because if not, I would think all the weight's just on the bolts, because there's space in between it. It doesn't say to put any washers or anything. So that's pretty interesting. Okay, I'm going to try to flip to the front and see what's going to happen. I think the one above the fuel tank is going to be a really big problem. So I slipped off the socket and my head smacked the frame and my arm. I don't see any blood, but it slid across there, and I hurt my knee. Oh, that 6 of the 8 bolts to 150. Oh, my head hurts. Oh. I've been at this for 2 hours tonight, and then an hour 45 minutes last night. So I'm up to 3 hours. Yeah. I'm not there yet. I still have to do the safety chains, and then I still have to do my wires. Whew. Now, they did say if I would have jacked up the truck, maybe that would have helped, but I didn't think it mattered since I was working on the frame in the truck bed that, can't really come apart. But it may have helped a little bit, but I just kind of thought if I was laying on my back, it would be up even higher. Oh, that did not feel good. Oh, the one in front of the gas tank. Yeah, that wasn't very fun. Oh, hey, look, 7 of 8 done. I really can't wait for me to read the instructions, and it tells me to come back and retighten these or retorque. When I'm right after the first use. You know, 150 ain't no joke when you're in a tight space. Okay, I've tightened all 8 of these bolts. Now I think I have to do the safety chains. Oh man, that's crazy. Okay, well, I'm gonna read the instructions and figure out what that implies. All right, so I decided to go ahead and pop this hanger back on. I sprayed it with some WD-40 silicone. Oh yeah. I tried doing it without lubing it up. No thanks. But I don't know if you can see that, but I was able to get that installed. I'm so happy that was able to get installed easily. Okay, time to go up to the truck bed. Well, since I was down there for so long, I had my my mini split turned on, and it got really, really cold up here in the truck bed. I stopped for a moment and got a snack, and now I'm back at it. And so I'm working on the safety chains, and it gives you a template. So what it's wanting you to do with the pin in the hitch, like all the way so that this doesn't slide down. This is first time dropping it in. Look, I have a gooseneck hitch. I mean, really, the hitch is installed. I just don't have safety chains or a wiring harness for the truck bed anyways. Okay, so what it wants you to do is put this over top of this. Wow, that's a really tight fit. How interesting. It tells you to like measure it and check it with other the corrugated spots in the bed. Well, I can't do that since I have the bed rug. But this is so tight. I mean, there's a little bit of movement, but this is there's just too much movement in my truck bed. I could maybe measure side to side and see if I can check it that way. Let me see if I have a tape measure. Alright, so let's see here. If I'm pushing really hard, I got a 20 and a 16th. I got 19 and 7/8. 19 and 7/8. And about 20, 20, 19 and 7/8. So I might be off by a 1/16 of an inch, which I guess realistically is not that bad. All right, so what it wants you to do is hold this down and I guess mark these holes that it recommends. Now, I'm gonna do the real easy side first. A little concerning. That one went all the way through. That one did not. Okay, that may be right. Okay, let's go ahead and drill this one. All right, that is right. Okay, as fun as that was, it does tell you that installing, it says right here, 2 of the holes will go through both the frame, cross member, and the truck bed. So the rear 2, you have to drill through the steel of the frame of the truck. And it tells you to drill 11 and 11/16 inch drill bits. So, for a hole. Well, I guess I'm going to be drilling it with the template because I don't see my holes after moving that. Okay. Okay. All right. I guess I'm gonna go get a pile of drill bits and then we can start drilling this. All right, so I went ahead and I drilled these 4 holes with a 1/4 inch. And then what I did is I took a 3/4 hole saw that I had and I drilled out my foam. So if you have foam, I would recommend drilling this out so now I can kind of see what I'm working on. And yeah, no, I like that. Of course, if you don't have the bed mat, then you don't have to worry about that. But I have 2 step bits that I should be able to drill, and it should be no problem. But you can kind of see what the hitch is looking like from here. But let's go ahead and keep getting these drilled. All right, so I said at the beginning of the video, I think, that I was going to give you guys some tips on what I learned. When your drill bit stops sounding like it's biting metal, it's potentially because the shank on the drill bit or on the drill came loose, and so it wasn't actually spinning the drill bit. When the drill bit's stuck in the hole, don't grab it with your bare hands to try to pull it out. It may be hot, and I burned my 2 fingers. I burned my thumb here and my index finger here, and they hurt, and I'm not happy about it. They hurt a lot because burning myself is horrible, and yeah, they really sting. But on a side note, I did get these stupid things installed. I did have to use a very large step bit, which goes up to 7/8 of an inch. I don't think I drilled all the way through 7/8, but I probably did, because of the second layer of metal. I had to drill through the top layer to get to the second layer. I checked all my drill bit cases, and I did not have a 11/16. And so if you're doing this, I would recommend having a 11/16. So now that my hand hurts, I'm going to now read the instructions to see what I'm supposed to do now. But I believe I'm putting the springs on and then sucking down these things that I drilled really big. I hope they don't rattle this badly. I guess when they're under tension, maybe they won't. So, all right, I'm gonna read the instructions and see what we're doing next. All right, so we're on to the next step, and I don't know how much you guys can actually see, but I'm doing the little Christmas looking springs. They're supposed to go up over the U-bolt. Oh yeah, sure. There. Oh yeah, that's fun. There's really not a whole lot to show you, but basically I'm having to set this on the nut and then push it up to try Okay, so I did confirm these are also the same 24mm that we used on the upside part. So what they recommend is that you tighten the nut, that it becomes flush with the bottom of the bolt. None of this is easy. Like, everything's really difficult to spin. To tighten it, I should say. Almost. All right. Oh yeah. Can't wait for that to rattle all the time. I might have to put something under it to try to keep it up. All right, so I got that side done. Now I'm gonna do the other side. All right, we were able to, I forget what we were doing. We were putting the latch handle together, and well, that sucked like really, really bad. it took a long time to get those 15mm bolts tight all the way, especially having to use like a ratchet open end wrench type thing. And then when I could put a socket on it, it made it so much easier. So let me show you what I have going on down here. So this, from that way, it doesn't work so well. That's not coming up. This one's coming up. This isn't coming up, and I wonder if it's because I have the pen open. How interesting. I did test this beforehand, and it did suck it down pretty good. So I can. That's not out all the way. How interesting. Okay, I pulled it out that time. Okay, it's in now. I can still hear metal. All right, well, I guess it decided to lock itself in. On the instructions, it says that you can pull it out and push it forward. Well, I don't think mine does that. I don't know, maybe mine's supposed to do that, because now I can't get it to stay out. Well, let me climb under there and see if it does have like a latch thing. I hope I didn't put it on backwards. All right, so I figured out what the problem was. I'd had some wires that were still in the plastic clips. I removed one. I ended up removing 4 more. This is what it looks like in the fender well. Don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but there is that wire right there, that wire loom that was pushing on the handle. I ended up removing a clip here, the clip that went here, and then 2 that were on the back side of this. So now let me see if I can hold everything with one hand. So now, so that's shut and that's open. So now it seems to stay. It doesn't just fall over. I mean, it does if you push, but it's not just hanging out there now. So it is supposed to do that. I went underneath and there is a notch in this arm. So there we have it. And then in the truck bed, let me set my phone down. All right, so in the truck bed, ball is out, and you can see the top of my shock is right there. So this is supposed to sit upside down in my truck bed like that, and that would have been beautiful, but it would have came in contact with my axle shock anytime I hit a bump. So I'm not going to do that, and it's not a big deal. I don't really use my truck bed to the point that I can't haul this. Even if I'm hauling lumber, I still typically lean it up against my truck. So now, all right, so this is working even without that pen being removed. So what they recommend doing is putting lube on the side of this, that grease, and then inserting it. So I'm going to go ahead and grease up the ball, get it ready for tomorrow, and then drop this in. And then I still have the 7-way Y adapter that is supposed to go in the truck bed. So I'm going to get this lubed up, and then I'm going to work on installing that. Okay, so I went ahead and I watched some other videos, and I did some research about kind of where other people were putting this. I've decided to go ahead and put it about right here. There is a secondary piece of metal behind this, but I think I should be able to drill through that pretty easily without too much hassle. And so I am using a 2 1/8, which is what it calls for. To drill this, I'm going to start out with a pilot hole and then hopefully get through this pretty quickly. Something that I did not record on the hitch was that I painted those edges. I actually ended up holding up the hitch already before I painted it. So I just went back with a Sharpie. May or may not work. If I have to spray paint it black, I can later. I'm not super worried about it, and my truck bed will probably never get wet there, but with moisture in the air, it would still rust. But I don't think it's that big of a deal. So now that we have that cut out, what I have to do is decide how I'm going to go about getting the hitch plug through the bed. If I want to cut a big hole in it and just remove it, which is probably just the easier option, because the other option is I drill that hole through it, and I'm making this a lot harder if I ever want to remove it. So I probably shouldn't do that, and I should probably mount this like this and then cut it out of the bed. So now what we're going to do is, I guess, start feeding this wiring kit through there somehow. I wonder, I guess you probably have to get this cut out first. And I mean, I can always zip tie it later, but yeah, I'm not sure how they expect you to push that through. So by cutting it, I was able to get it down. All right. Now I am going to push that down there. And I don't know. I'm just going to go ahead and make this connection. I made the connection so I knew how much space I had. Alright, I'm gonna just leave it in there like that and then go downstairs, or down underneath. As much as I didn't want to do it, I had to drop the spare tire again. Also, I had to pull my trailer connector out, and of course the tab was really stuck and I was really trying not to break it. So I used a really small screwdriver, and I came in from the top side and I kind of reached in and was hoping to grab the little plastic clip, and I used it to twist it a little bit and lift it up, and then I could feel it release, and then I was able to pull it apart. So from there, I'm hoping to just be able to make these connections and hopefully just push it back in the way I found it. Don't you just love the now we're done videos that don't actually show you every step or every part of the video? Well, I just made one of those. I was able to go ahead and get the 7-pin screwed in. I got the carpet cut, and I do have the gooseneck hitch installed. I may try to pull this forward after I hook up the hitch. I don't really know how much space I need. I have like drills and impacts and like hammers and stuff in that one, and then I have like sockets and big impacts and a jack in that one. So these are kind of like the two toolboxes that stay with me. I just bought these, and I should have probably went with the tall version instead of the more flat one. So I did get that installed. It's pretty straightforward, honestly. I just kind of found a way to route it and zip tie it up and then plug it in. I have no way of testing it, so let's hope that everything works and I didn't break anything, and hopefully everything's squeezed tight. I've been at this for 5 hours. It took me 5 hours to install that and that. And it was not very enjoyable. I kind of thought it would be more exciting to install this. It kind of wasn't, especially with all the stuff in the way down there, with the sockets being really hard to do and then having to cut that one in half. I would definitely recommend having a low profile socket, and you need a torque wrench, and then you're going to need the 3.5 inch hole saw, 2 1/8 hole saw. It was not super enjoyable, but it is 10 o'clock now and I have to get ready, and we'll be heading out at 7:30 in the morning to pick up that gooseneck trailer. Hopefully with the finance and everything, I still have to sign papers, but hopefully with all that, we should be good to go. And then I do have my bumper pull trailer for sale. I bought it for almost $11,000. I currently have it listed for $8,500, and I haven't had any bites on it yet, but I've not listed it on all the Facebook forums. But when I get this other trailer, I may compare parts and like winches or batteries, and I may swap some of that stuff over. I may potentially keep that come up winch and put like a Harbor Freight winch on that trailer and then sell it so I can keep the come up winch. But you know, we'll talk about that probably in the next video. So with this being said, we should be ready to go get that gooseneck trailer. I have towed a gooseneck trailer before a couple times in a previous video with an F-150. That B&W was not installed correctly. It was this whole thing. So, and I did a horrible job recording, which I'm still not great at recording videos. So thank you guys so much for bearing with me, and I hope to see you guys in the next video, hopefully with a brand new gooseneck trailer. I will see you guys hopefully in that video. Peace out.